Hello, fellow hitchhikers. Today we are taking a look at building a Solarbots team. What I've done is I've gone through and snipped various images of the common and a few of the rares. I'd like to maybe in the future go and get it so I have the PNG file so you can have maybe black backgrounds or different backgrounds. I didn't do this in the most efficient way, but I think it'll work for what we're trying to do with this video of helping you choose your Solarbots to make your team. But it's not in dark mode, so hopefully you might have to wear sunglasses to watch this video. Anyways, if you're on the Solarbots website, solarbots.io, you can see back when the mint happened that the full team was a tank, a support, a melee, and a ranged. So you got your one Solarbot out front taking all the attacks. You got the support that's healing, and then you got your melee and ranged. It doesn't have to be each of these classes. It can be just 4 Solarbots. You could be like all melee, just like going in and storming the castle kind of thing. You could be maybe all ranged. You just got a whole lot of range damage coming from a distance and so on. So just any 4 Solarbots will make a team. But to start, the standard team will be one of each of the classes. You can always use official links. If you go to OpenSea and just search Solarbots, there's going to be some scam links that are out there. So either use links in the Discord or from the actual website, and you can jump over and start buying them. Now, when you're choosing which ones to buy, these are the 4 classes: tank, support, melee, ranged. And then you also have the factions. Now, a common question that comes up is, do they all have to be the same faction? The answer is no. In fact, I suspect there may be a synergy or an advantage of having different factions because you're uniting the different factions against this common enemy that's coming in and attacking. That's just my own theory. Either way, factions will not matter in terms of making a team. So what I've done is, this is a little overwhelming and you get so many results, is I've snipped and put together and organized the various Solarbots in a way that hopefully will make sense. This view that I've got shows you all of the tanks. So this is the Lokrin tanks, the Ilskagard, the Arborea, and the Neutral. Now, these are the 3 main factions: Lokrin, Ilskagard, and Arborea. And then the Neutral, we don't really know. They're not really even a faction unto themselves, even though when you're on OpenSea, it is under the factions. They are a series of Solarbots that were created, made, somehow in conjunction of the 3 factions working together. And so the Neutral Solarbots will work with any of the factions as well in terms of lore and storyline. Still more to come out on that. What I would suggest doing then is just choosing which one you think looks the best. This is what I did with my daughter. I just had her choose a tank from this page here. You will see that there's some common styles. The Lokrin is very religious almost looking, very ceremonial, if you will. The Arborea over here in this column, this 3rd column, they're very nature, sort of tree and plants and insects kind of feel. And then the Ilskagard, sometimes you'll hear people sort of refer to it as somewhat steampunk kind of. It's definitely very industrial. It's very mechanical. The Ilskagard is the one that I ended up choosing as a faction. So this is all of the tanks. You can see these ones down here, the babies. They are smaller, but it doesn't mean they're not more powerful. So some people like to go with the babies just because of how they look. Either way, so you would choose a tank and you would choose a melee. So it'll give you a sense of the style here. You can see that same sort of religious style going on with the Lokrins. You can see the industrial, mechanical style going on with the Ilskagards, nature with the Arborea, and then the Neutral has its own unique style. And then you would go through and choose a support. Which support? Again, going on which styles. Maybe you choose 1 Lokrin, 1 Ilskagard, 1 Arborea, 1 Neutral, and you have sort of all 4 factions represented within your team of 4. Or maybe you stick to all Lokrin or all Ilskagard. And the ranged, you go through and say, I want whichever one that you like this one with a plant, so I want the Arborea ranged baby. So once you've decided what you like in terms of style, then you would go over to the OpenSea and we can choose our class. We're going to choose our tank. And then we're going to choose our faction if you had a certain one that you wanted. Let's go back up to the tanks. So maybe I want to go with, I like this baby with a pot on its head. So I want an Ilskagard baby tank. So I'll go Ilskagard. And then size, baby. And there we are. Now, one of the things you will notice is we have both type and size. One of the things that this is almost redundant. All babies are neutral. Females and males are all large. So you almost don't even need to go this way. You can just ignore the size. Just ignore that completely and just be like neutral. There, that'll give me all the babies. You'll also notice that sometimes they have this animation going. These were placeholder animations from before they revealed the art style. And if you really want to get rid of them, you can open it up. Up here is the refresh metadata. You can hit refresh metadata and then it queues it up and then it will update the artwork for you. It just means the owner of this NFT hasn't updated that. You're also going to notice if something else. This is a common, this is a common, this is a common. This just looks like the common that I had here. There are different rarities. So if I take a look at this one here, I can see it has a different pot on its head, has a different shield, has some other stuff that's going on. If I open that up and look at the properties, I'll see that this is an epic. So this is an epic at 0.3 ETH and it has a totally different look than these other ones. Now, if I look at this green one, oddly, it's a rare. So the pricing is a little out of sync here. The epic is priced cheaper than the rare. So either these rares are overpriced or this epic is underpriced. Now, what's the difference between common, rare would be the next rarity, and epics, and then voids? Cosmetics. Cosmetics is the primary difference. If you have an epic, it's going to have shading, it's going to have animations, it's going to have different things that are available for it to be able to do in the battles. So no difference in terms of battle play. Now there's one other difference in the rarities that do matter is the base stats. So just imagine these Solarbots here could all have a maximum of 20. I don't know, pick your stat. 20 defense. Okay. A common may, when you do the random roll and you find out what the stats are on your little Solarbot here, maybe the common will be anywhere between 1 and 20. So you roll it randomly and you're like, I only got a 3. Whereas if you have a rarer Solarbot and you roll to find out what your stats are, it might have a higher base. Maybe it's anywhere from 10 to 20. So your lowest value on your base stat on the rare will be higher. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to be better because you can do things to upgrade your stats. You can re-roll your stats in the common. So theoretically, with gameplay, skill, and things like that, your common could be 20 out of 20 in that attribute, just the same as your epic or your rare. So all rarity does is kind of give you that higher base stat as a starting point, but in the long run, it doesn't matter. So in terms of pricing, I'll just clear this out. If I just look at buy it now pricing, you can see right now the floor, sort by price low to high on single items or even all items. The floor right now is 0.15 for the Solarbots. That's going to be mainly commons. But when you take a look at the rarity and change to, say, rare, 0.15, almost the same. Now it's pretty thin, it jumps up pretty quick, but you could get a rare, or you can, for the same price as you get a common. Why would that happen? Well, maybe that rare is underpriced, but also at the same time, most people are holding all of these Solarbots right now in order to farm FOA. 40,000 of these Solarbots, which was 10,000 sales. The reason, and then you got 4 Solarbots when you minted them, because that's one team per mint. And you'll see that people are holding them in order to generate FOA. Now, this isn't a full 40,000 because some people have decided not to mint yet. So it was a beautiful process. You could link your wallet and purchase the ability to mint, then you can mint whenever you want, when gas is really low, that kind of thing. So, but some people are choosing not to mint. They're foregoing the FOA token generation, but in order to have the potential to mint a void. Voids are the most expensive. Right now, the floor on voids is 17.5. I remember for a while there was under 10, and I desperately wanted to get one. I desperately wanted to mint one, but never happened. So this is sort of perhaps a long goal to be able to get one of these, but I suspect they're just going to rise higher and higher and eventually be completely out of my touch from ever be able to getting them. There's only 100 of them now. There was 98 for a while, and 2 more were just minted last week when gas was really low on Ethereum. Anyways, they look awesome. Of course, you would open up a rare channel in the Discord to be able to talk with other void holders, get a little bit of insights. But overall, it's primarily cosmetics. Oh, there will be some other advantages with owning voids in terms of being able to have certain skin upgrades when you're upgrading your Solarbots, things like that. But again, it's not pay to win. Choosing your team, what you want to do is think about which one do you want. So organize them by tanks. Look at all the different tanks. Pick your tank, pick your melee, pick your support. Now, if you are wanting to attach yourself to a certain faction, and that is something that has to happen, well, it doesn't have to happen, but can happen in the Discord. You can choose what faction you want to be part of, and it opens up that faction channel for you. Is instead of looking at it just based on, the different class that each Solarbot can roll, is to just look at it by its faction. So I did a second layout here where you can see all of the faction in one single frame shot. So here is all of the Locrians. And if you go, yeah, I really like that style overall, that's something I'd like to collect, that's what I'd like to be part of, then you can see the Locrians. And I made a rare version. You can kind of see what happens is, as you go through rarity, they are pretty much exactly the same, but there's some cosmetic changes. This is rare, this is common, this is rare. So the colors get a little bit brighter, and imagine, a few more sparkles or a few more fire flames that come out and so on. So it'll be more visually pleasing in order to play with the higher rarities. But either way, here's all of the common Locrians. So maybe you look at this and go, yeah, I really like this style. I want to be part of the Locrian. I keep saying Locrian, but it's actually Locrian is how it's pronounced. So I want to be part of the Locrian faction. And maybe I look at the Ilska Guard and I go, yeah, no, that's more what I want. I like the metal. I like the blue sapphires that'll be used. I like that kind of industrial style. Or maybe you look at the Arborea. And there's a certain element of humor and fun in the insects and the plants and the colors. And you go, I want to go all Arborea, and I'm going to choose this Arborean tank and this melee and this ranged and which of the supports. Or you want to go all neutral. And the neutrals are way more expensive because they're more rare. So you decide, I'm going to go a neutral team. Tank, melee, ranged, support. I believe Sensei Odin has put together a void team. I can't remember if it's void neutrals or just voids. But anyways, all voids. So maybe you want to go with a certain rarity. So there's different ways that you can organize yourself to put together a team. If you want a standard team, you have one of each type. But you can put together any 4 that you like. So I hope that was a little bit helpful and maybe gave you a nice summary visual just to be able to see them all in one spot. It can get quite overwhelming when you're on OpenSea because they're just kind of randomly jumping around and you don't know which ones to look for. Either way, MVP, minimum viable product, is coming out very soon, hopefully in the next few weeks. End of Q1 is the roadmap. There was quite a few people that were sick, so there may be a slight delay with getting this minimum product out. But either way, there'll be some treats and goodies and things to play. So if you don't have a Solarbots team, now is the time. You, at a minimum, start earning that FOA. And if you don't know about that, you can read the white paper here on the main website. But basically, holding the Solarbots in your wallet will allocate a certain amount of FOA to be distributed to that wallet for the number of days that you held it. 6.84 FOA per day per Solarbot in each wallet that holds it. So great. As always, keep track of your towels and don't panic.